down to Victoria and Melbourne.
Dabba.
So they feel a bit rushed. It probably was a little bit, but there's mainly just to get you stretch your legs and go to the bathroom quick, get something to eat. It's not the highlight of the tour really. It's down here a lot of antique shops, those sorts of things in this area. People to run over, but not looking where they're going.
నేను ఇంత వచ్చేసి కూడా ఫేషియల్ అవి చేయించుకున్నా వాళ్ళ పెద్ద తేడా
stagecoaches, the original stagecoaches were common code, same as America, but changed days a bit after. So I think the main one's the one here on your left hand side, just the other side of the park. You can see lots of those pine forests on this journey down to Canberra and other parts of water in it, but there is another lake in South Australia called Lake Eyre in the outback of South Australia. And they say that if Lake Eyre is dry, it's a dry lake, it's 25 kilometres long and 5 kilometres wide. It's a massive great area, mostly used for farming, so you'll see the farming type fences on it, and you'll see some sheep and cattle. I haven't seen water in this lake for many, many years now. It used to be a thing where we used to see it every now and again, but we haven't seen water in the lake for a long time. They say it can happen again. Oh, I thought I'd show you. Out there on your right hand side, you can see that spire. That's black, what they call Black Mountain, and that's the communications tower. You actually, if you came back here, you could go up there. There's a lift, an observation deck up there at Black Mountain. Bad bushfires went through this area 3 or 4 years ago. And
Yeah. Then let it ravala.
Is it lunch break?
Then you mali bite ke. Help. అంటే ఉండదు ఎవరు లేకుండా మనకి
war memorial wars would finish. Much more recently, these blocks down here is lifeboat. And this is one of the lifeboats that was used at Gallipoli, the Battle of Gallipoli. Several years after that battle, it was spotted by one of our governors general who went to visit Anzac Cove and found it there and brought it back because it is a very pertinent memorial for this gallery. It did have to be cut in half to fit into planes to bring it back. But it's one of the lifeboats that we use to carry the men across the strait. It would have had over 50 men in this boat, and the signs that we see on the outside of it are the marks of bullets. Some that go in and some that go out the other side, knowing it has taken a life on its journey through there. So I ask you not to touch it, but thank you very much indeed. But so some of them are in and some of them are out. Now we'll talk about that a bit more, but they have just recently rehung it so we get this dark ceiling of things, and it is fantastic the way they show it in this position, with of course the most modern lighting as well. Yeah.
So it's a...
Has anyone been to Turkey, to Gallipoli? Anyone from Turkey? No. It is the most hazardous landscape. I have been there, I've seen the landscape myself, and it is just rocky, high, difficult things. It was the worst planned battle it really was. This is the harbour down the bottom here. This is where the lifeboats landed, the men. The men were discharged from the lifeboats and they had to climb this huge mountain in the face of the enemy, so that you can see up the top there, they're all in their army uniforms with their... and it also reminds us of one other thing that the War Memorial does, and that is that they always have artists in the war zone. And it's part of what this War Memorial does. They are there to record the art. Now they don't, in today's world, all do it in painting like this. They can be sculptors, and I'll show you some other things as we go around. They can be photographs, they can be war memorial to go into the war zone. They put themselves at enormous risk to do it, but to represent it in an art form as well. And with the doing up of this gallery space, these dioramas had gone out of the valleys. There was all things in the building growing and things like that. They're now all in chronological order. And they show this is the battle of the Low Time that we're looking at here. But they have all just recently been and they're doing on so that it's made an amazing. Not only need big space, but we need huge doors to get them in and out of the building and all those sorts of things. But when this Japanese plane was put up here, they were able to find out the name of the pilot that had been flying it when it was brought down. He was a man in his 80s, and he was brought to Australia especially to see his plane hung in the Australian border. He was quite overwhelmed, he was in tears, but just so grateful to be given that opportunity. So, I mean, there are very many very special stories about all these things that we have here too. So, this is the plane here. It's interesting also. simply, we cannot fit these tours in to accommodate that, and they take quite a long length of time. So I just want to explain to you, though, it really is a very important thing.
Remember our first battle in the First World War was in Greece. Sorry, in Turkey, in Gallipoli in Turkey. So on the right hand side Gallipoli, Greece, and the left hand side Turkey. Happens very often these days. Remember I said to you, no petrol powered craft allowed on the lake. Commonwealth?
Commonwealth.
మొక్కలు మూసిపోతుంది సార్.
కళ్ళ
వాడి కామన్వెల్త్ ప్లేస్ వాటర్ ఎడ్జ్ రెస్టారెంట్.
ఇండియా కనపడలేదా?
లేదు మరి.
పాకిస్తాన్ కనిపిస్తున్నది.
మన కామన్వెల్త్లో రాము సార్.
And the building coming up on your right hand side, that's the High Court of Australia. That's an electric powered boat on your left hand side there. That's a Carillion over to your left hand side that I mentioned before.
బాబరే ఎన్ని నేషన్స్.
అవే ఇవి ఇక్కడ.
అదే రిపిటేషన్లో ఉంది. ఇండియా కనపడలేదు అక్కడ.
And it is painted on the shoulder. And very like beer stone, you really understand the otherness of going green and things like that. Our boy actually lived that one with them. Two people in Australia. Also the to go in 3 months when they're away from the world, there's no shops nearby or anything like that. They're fed, they're looked after beautifully. There's a beautiful 1860s house on at the end of the their time, their scholarship, they give an exhibition or concert feel there in guaranteed, and a very beautiful item. And there are a number of things like that. But the decision was that this should be a time capsule and the furnishing should be contemporary with the building itself. So a team of interior architects were specially employed, and they're still in Canberra now, to design all the furniture for this building. So it was all specially designed. And so we get our system of government is actually based on the British system. So you get green for the lower house and red for the upper house. It's not quite exactly scripted, but that in fact is the basis for the whole thing. And so here we have the green of the gum tree, and you'll see later on when we get to the upper house, we have the red, a soft Australian red of the gum blossom flower actually. And you do notice it, you are very aware that that's an Australian colour, so absolutely fantastic. Now in this building we have one, it's the leader of the party in power. Who can tell me who's in power now? We've got one expert who's not going to speak. Who's in charge? Who's the party in power? We have a coalition party in power. We have never had a Liberal party in power, ever. It's always been a coalition or a Labour party in power. And that is our Prime Minister, who is Malcolm Turnbull. And I know in this country we've had a lot of changes recently, but at this moment Malcolm Turnbull is the newly elected Prime Minister and doing a very good job. So he'll sit at the table, beside him will be his deputy or an advisor who wants to call on for information. So I was sort of explaining not very well as we walked across. This is where the Queen of England sits. She has opened Parliament twice in this building. And if she is to open Parliament, Black Rod, who is in charge of this house, will go across to the House of Reps, not 3 times, and the members of the House of Reps will be invited in to come to the opening of Parliament. Now I have to say we have a fairly new Governor-General in the House, and he was interred fairly recently, a couple of months ago now, but before Christmas. And I walked in here with a group just meaning a celebration and a feeling of importance that it really is. Because this is the colour of the gum blossom flower. And as an Australian, you immediately recognise and think about it. It was fantastic. And they also had bowls of flowers up here at the back and things as well, but it was just beautiful. It did reflect that Australian feeling as I've never seen quite before. Anyway, so if the Queen is in Australia,